Okay, so thanks for joining. We had some more feedback. So we had some extremely exciting feedback, which was we were narrowing down as to what we wanted to say, that people were understanding what was going on. We've got points of view shared from each other. And then we had some not quite so good feedback. So meeting participants is what we will now be doing on a regular basis. And we've asked everybody to turn on the video. And you see, I wonder where these comments are coming from.
To be honest, okay, I'll confess.
I don't confess.
I did the video one. I was like, I want to see people.
Exactly. This is why I enforced everybody to have their video turned on and it will work correctly. So
I also saw mine.
It's the same idea.
Yeah. We're getting.
Yeah. So the reason it may be showing in a list that there's actually two of me because I actually have it running on my other computer as well. Just to.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm over here as well.
There's another view. Hi.
I'm taking over. So yeah, so basically we wanted to keep it working in this way so that we can build a community anyway. So have you seen this page? Then this tells us what our rough agendas are going to be, and we had another comment asking us for are the timings for the GNN weeks and other dates on the internet. Well, yes, they are. They're sitting here as well with a quick link. And we had some fantastic webinars that were, video competitions that were submitted as well. So we have some winners down here.
I got second place. Woo!
So, and most of all, I was super impressed with your video that it was helpful. It talked about what we were trying to do. It was related to the campaign. It wasn't some random motorbike thing that I put up there. That was very nice. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, so as a feedback, do you find this page helpful with the sort of agenda that we're expecting and having the information on it?
Yes, totally. I think it's very clear now what it is that we have to prepare for before each webinar, and then the dates are there. I think it's very clear.
Okay, perfect. So we'll carry on using this type of presentation as we move forwards to make it simple for everyone.
Yes.
So we have our final dates. The only one that I need to check still is Turkey, but I haven't had any recent responses from them as to when in May, but otherwise the rest of the dates are all set. So this is what we're going for. And we are now explaining this to the members and the partners that these are the dates that they're working from so they can start aligning themselves where they are the global networks, global partners to say, yes, we have information for these areas and we can get it to people.
Okay, great.
So then we now have a shorter set of days. We're moving on. So we've only got 64 days until we start launching.
Oh, wow.
Which is, it's encouraging. So we know what we're doing somewhere. And it's really to find out if people are actually ready with the launch of what we want as well. So our next one, 29th of October. So should get that in the calendar. You should have received the invitations for it.
Yes, I received all of them.
Perfect. Okay, just good.
Yes.
Okay. So we started in March and we've moved on quite a bit then with what we're trying to do with our campaign. We've now drifted into this section what we're calling content production. So we have actually done some planning of what the campaign is about, the main things it's going to do. The editorial planning is where we go around and decide on the individual messages per channels that we're going out and what type of thing we'd like for the year. And we've understood what it takes to make some of the content at the moment, figuring out if we need it in multiple languages, if we're going to do it in single language, that type of stuff has all been covered. So we come to this lovely section called content production, which is where we want to start getting involved again now with each of the networks and the members to see what they can provide if they're understanding it from the same point of view, and what this is actually going to mean for everybody to make the campaign actually work.
Okay.
So we have, you may have looked at this, a complicated campaign editorial calendar. So this is just showing September, October, November, and December at the moment. And these are all the different sort of things we are doing. So we ran some teasers in September. and there was a what would you get the gander for its birthday, and then there will be some more coming out the second week of October about who you'll invite for the birthday party, that type of thing. But we have some way we're building up to this. So we've actually planned this all the way out for the entire length of the campaign, with this sort of level of detail by weeks and channels of information we're needing to do. And this is what we would like each of the networks to start thinking about on their focus week as to what they actually need to function with. So we'll start talking a bit more about the individual things you can choose, which channels operate in your country, and what your members' handles have got, so that we can actually align the messaging correctly.
Okay. I just have a comment on the whole what would you get Gan for its birthday and stuff. I didn't really understand that campaign, hey?
Yeah.
Like I didn't understand like what we were supposed to respond by saying.
Anything you like, yeah. So the way that we tried to get it going, there was a few people that joined in. It was answering, we had some polls of questions that came up that we made from suggestions. So
yes,
we were able to put out what we call some seed messages. So these are things that apprenticeship networks need a change in legislation for them to function in their country. There needs to be realistic salaries offered. These types of sort of thought ideas and points of view can be dropped into the conversation, and then we can actually move forward from there. So
I see.
Yeah. So we see Rebecca has now joined as well. Hello, Rebecca. I can't see you with the microphone at the moment, but if you could start your video as well, that would be really helpful. Then we can wave at you. So the idea of these teasers are just to start people practicing a little bit and seeing if we're getting some new followers and some new influencers we can use before we have the big launch in December. But it's also to show that something is happening and we're building to something across the world with all of the networks.
Okay, I get it now.
So there is a bit of a theme, because then the 5th of December, it is the birthday, so we will hit it here. So we will have 3 of these to build up to it, and then there'll be a big announcement that it's our birthday and we're having an event on the 5th of December.
Okay, what I'll do is with the next one, I'll just reach out if I need some more clarity.
Yeah, sure. Please do.
And then I can, get the members involved, because they have, they've got handles on social media and stuff like that. So they'll be able to respond and create some kind of, hype around it and stuff.
Exactly. So that's what we thought with the way we're actually having these conversations. We can go around and join into the groups and start collecting the handles we'd like to use for these different things, and everybody can actually say hello to each other.
Yeah.
So, hello, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay. It's nice to meet you again. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Good afternoon. Do you want to start your video as well, and we can wave at you?
Did I miss anything? I mean, was there something in the first 5 minutes that I missed?
No, we were just sort of explaining where we got to with we just started getting going with a couple of the options as to what we were talking about with the planning so far, and how we've moved on since March. So you're roughly up to date with there, and this is where we're looking at this quick campaign plan. So we have her on the line as well, and we've got Christina and Sylvia in the office. Unfortunately, I'm not home today because I'm not well.
Okay.
There we go. But nice to hear from you. So for this, we'll go back to working. Yeah. So in a bit more detail then, this is a typical week of what we have for our lovely campaign plan. There are, this level of detail is what we are looking for, that we will need some help from yourselves for filling in what you'd like to do. So we can go around and advise, are we touching the right channels? Have we got enough strong messaging? But this is the sort of level of information we will need to look for in your plans as you move forwards. So we'll stop there a second. I've got something fun for us to do today. We have now the option to run polls inside our tool, and it will give us a quick question so that we can understand if everybody is following along correctly. So you should see on your screens now a quick poll as multiple choice questions, and you can pick and choose which are the elements that are in content for a campaign plan. Just click on it and click on the submit button at the bottom. Give you a minute or so for this. There's only 4 participants, so we should get it done quite quickly.
No, I can't see anybody voting so far. Well, that's good enough.
So it's kind of like voting, no?
It is, it's definitely voting.
Okay, right.
Alright, so Sylvia and Christina and Sylvia haven't voted yet, I'm sure. Alright, I'm going to end it.
Okay, so the sharing of the results, you should now see these. Yeah. All right, who's chosen socks and hot dogs? Come on.
Really now? Really? I think it's you. You did it just on purpose now.
Just to make sure, yeah, it's quite fun. There we go. So we've got some good ideas as to what it is. Right. So going back to, there you go. Oops, what have I done here? Press the wrong button. Lose me. Stop sharing results. There we go. So with the types of content we'd like to do, we also need to aim at 3 different audiences. So we have these detailed a little bit more in our playbook, but they are job seekers, employers and governments. And we have lots of key messages for these different groups of people, which we need to, when we produce a piece of content that's either a story, a video, an image, we need to think who is it for and what is the message it's trying to say, so that we are consistent across the world and people are getting the right information. So where we have language groups of inside different countries, we've got the LATAM group, we've got some French-speaking groups, we've got some English-speaking groups. We can share the workload between us for creating these so that we can reuse them consistently across all of our networks and actually just make life a bit easier for everyone.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So, where's my screen not moving? There we go, right. So, we've got another quick poll for you now then. I like these today, they're fun. So, you should now see, what is a campaign plan then? So, just to understand what your ideas are on this one. So, give you a couple of seconds to go around and answer this again. Multiple choice.
I can only select one.
Okay, well maybe I only set it for one. Yeah, actually looking at it, it only looks like one. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah. Practicing.
Campaign plan.
It would have been better like if it's like a simple Excel sheet of checklist.
Oh, my digital assistant has just come to say hello.
Okay.
Yes.
Ah! Oh, it's so cute!
Working from home. Okay, right. So then, what have we got for the results on this? Okay, so we're thinking it's a simple Excel sheet. Well, it could be. But if we took back at the one we had a second ago, it really is a list of the different channels and the activities you want to do over time, so that you've got a proper plan as to what's going on here. So
Yeah.
with the what's it all work? So when we're creating content that will fill into this plan, we need to have some exciting information about apprenticeships, what we can do, really inspire people to actually follow it, following the key messages. So it's good for people for finding a job, It's a great way of businesses getting skills, and it's a way of changing the stigma around apprenticeship that not everybody has to go to university to have a good position. That type of idea. As this is a very emotive subject, we want lots of good photos of people, and where we can, we'd like to go around and have videos and stuff as well. So, good morning, Alexander. I can see you just. So we're moving on a little bit as to what's happening with content and stuff today. So if you'd like to start your video, we can all wave at you as well. So with these three main ideas around content, we also have three types of people we need to aim at. So we need to address gender, so they're actually equal everywhere. We need to address enterprises and big business, and we need to address the young. So with those, we can mix and match the messages between different places. So where we're sharing photos we're collecting, where we're sharing translations we're doing between the language groups, as we were saying, it allows us to go around and populate each of the three themes for the content to go with the key messages that we talked about. So with all of those, we will run some analytics then as to the messages when they're being used, and be able to find out, are these talking to people? Are they being, people actually accessing the website? Are they resharing it? Are they tweeting it? Do they understand the sentiment behind the message? This will give us a way to actually keep changing our messages during the campaign to adjust to get the most impact we possibly can.
Okay.
So one thing that is like for the photos, right? Funky and focus photos. Like, do you think like it's better to have some action photos too, not only having selfies and group photos?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, people actually doing
in real industries and in their
work style things. Yeah, as long as they're interesting, that they're visually quite good. What we try to stay away from are standard posed photographs. So if they are people doing real life scenes which we can reuse, these are much better because people can relate to them. Yeah. Okay. So moving on,
Okay.
I've got another. We had the playbook that was released recently. What did you think of it? Open question.
Playbook PDF version.
Yeah.
It was very informative.
Okay.
I think I understand the overall idea now of what we're trying to achieve. And
Good.
yeah.
Okay. Alexander, did you look at the playbook at all?
Hi, I'm sorry for being late for one. And
You're a little bit quiet as well. Could you get a bit closer to the mic?
I'm sorry. Can you hear me better right now? Is this better?
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Wait.
That's okay. You can type it in the chat instead. No fault for me. Yeah. So Rebecca, I realised you were slightly busy with the launch of Bangladesh. So yeah. So what we have done, if you look back in the archive of the webinars we've been doing, you can send you a link. We have released this playbook, and we have the version that we wrote in PDF and just stuck out, but we've also made a website version which we will update probably more frequently, which goes and gives us some explanation as to what's going on with it as well. So it tries to link a few ideas together. We're putting more and more content into it so that we have things to download and play with as well.
So, I mean, is there a PDF version of the playbook available available in our archive? Is there such playbook there?
Yeah, so with the campaign webinar archives that we've actually put onto our website, so we've got a page on there, and it's got the links to download it and the link to access the webinar, the playbook website as well.
Yes, I have gone through that link. I mean, GAN Global or Campaign Webinar History, right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the URL. So is the playbook there?
Yes.
Because I couldn't find the PDF version over there.
It should be on the September page. If not, then I've done something wrong. We'll have to check it again, but it should definitely be there.
Okay.
Well, we can have a look in a minute anyway, just to check.
Oh, it's in September.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's there.
Oh, I've got another quick poll for us then, because I've decided to get carried away with this today.
No,
this
really.
This is a really complicated poll now.
Essentially, playbook. No.
All right, so I'm still looking for an access from another one. Yeah, but Alexander, the playbook's not on Google Drive. It's also on the website. Have you created
The link is not working. You saw that?
Yeah,
I mean, when you're in the September playbook, clicking on the playbook thing, but it's not. It's blank. Okay, it's.
Yeah. So we'll end this one here for a minute, and we'll see. So a few people have accessed the playbook and created an account, and there we go. There's the results. There we go. So not everybody, and this is one of the key asks that we had at the last webinar, was that everybody goes around and creates an account and gets set up. So I did a bit of tracking, and I haven't seen very many requests come through the website. I thought maybe there's something that request things not working correctly. So I also turned on the Google Analytics to have a look, and it shows me that the most accessing countries that are for the playbook so far are these four. So congratulations to Namibia being on the list yet again. I'm stunned that Sri Lanka is on there because we've had one brief conversation, but they're actually accessing it, and Argentina are doing a lot as well. So this is something we definitely all need to be accessing and using, because the most up-to-date information is going to be there. The resources to download, the locations to upload things so we can share them around is all linked in through from the playbook. So, moving on. We had a video competition as well. And we asked if people wanted to have a go at this, and we had some great submissions, and we've got some winners. The problem was we didn't actually have very many people joining and participating. So the key reason for asking last time to go and get everybody to try the video competition was to make sure that the tool was actually usable from your different country, because we don't want to launch something which doesn't work or is blocked on internet access from different countries for some reason or other. So we'd like you to have another look at this, and we have reopened the competition. So it's again, currently, we have these wonderful first, second, third, and fourth place videos. First place is obviously the best. The competition,
obviously, really.
obviously the best, yeah. The competition will run until for submissions until Thursday morning, and then until Sunday evening is when we can do the voting. So the voting is very simple on each of above the videos, or actually on the video itself. It has a heart. You can click it. It works on a mobile. It works on desktops and everything else. You can do multiple votes as well, which is possibly how some random person on the motorcycle got into first place. You don't just have to vote once, and it limits you to, I think it's 5 or 6 votes per day, so you can add in multiples, and we can see if this is really functioning correctly. But as part of our team spirit, we need everybody to try this again so that we can see it properly working, and life is good. Any questions around the competition? Right. Okay, moving on. So as part of the campaign thinking now, we're going to have an alumni. And the reason that we need to have an alumni is that the people that have worked with us, either at the Secretariat in Geneva, in the federations and locally, or in our companies that have been involved with the GAN over the last 5 years, are the best people to go around and talk about what we actually do. We want them to go around and be our advocates. We want them from students and friends. This is the normal usage of what we actually have for an alumni. So what the alumni will do is they're going to post things on social media for us. They will participate in events that we are actually running. They will use their network and generate leads that they'll be able to report back to us. And we're thinking some people in the alumni, depending on some criteria, can also supply thought leadership, so that they have a full interest in the subject, they know what they'd like to do, they know the direction we're heading in, and they're good enough for writing. But the main idea is to be a community so we can actually structure our lives going forward and actually work the campaign to its full benefits. So we see there are 4 main types of people that are going to be in our alumni. The first ones will be that have worked at the GAN, so we're able to go around and contact all the people from Geneva that have been working here over the many years. We'd like you in the networks to do exactly the same thing. So where you have been able to track down who have been trainees, who have been interns, and talk to them again, ask them if they'd like to join, and come up with a short list as to what they're actually doing. We're doing exactly the same thing with the members. We're asking them to participate in this so that they have their own global members that can help out with details as to how their companies are operating, the value they see in apprenticeships, this type of thing. And we have a group called Others, whereas if we don't have a direct access to some of these people, we can go around and contact them through our own personal contacts, or we build in the influencers that we've picked up with over the years so they can actually be reused as a good channel. So with the alumni, we're going to come up with a standard platform that everybody will be able to use. Main ideas are that we can share information and we can all plan the messages we'd like to send out, so that they will go around and amplify across their channels. And we've got a way that we actually can facilitate each other to be part of the community. The exact platform we haven't decided on yet. WhatsApp works extremely well with many groups, so this is one option we're looking at, but we will we'll open to suggestions. So if you have any, please let us know of a tool that might work. So for the alumni, the main things that they will be benefiting from are part of our group, and we're expecting them to be included in events and participate during the year as well. So when we are having parties, when we're having events in the local country, when we're having video competitions, and when we are giving out our prize pieces, this is where they will actually get some contact back from us and benefit from us investing some of their time. So to make sure this all functions, we will be using the Secretariat for moderating what's going on. So we will control who is in the alumni to start with, because we don't want everybody in there, they've got to have a real reason for being involved. We're going to have them working on different campaigns. We want them, we will giving influencer briefings so they understand the types of message we want them to commit, what's the reason is behind it, and to fix with their schedules and have different ideas. It's again a way of keeping us all as one happy group, because we've been going for 5 years. Why should we actually stop now? It's good to actually keep everything running. And again, participating in their offline events and helping us with content production. Here, we're thinking mainly for the members and partners, but this is the type of outreach we can actually ask for. So that was going to bring us to the end of what I had to say today for the main things. We have some new asks as to what we'd like you to do next time. So again, it's still talking with your members and aligning your plans. So we will discuss the plans a little bit in a second. Really, we need you to get connected on the playbook as soon as possible so that you can see what's going on, you can pick up the latest information. We need you to try the video competition. And now you know a little bit about what we'd like to do with the alumni, you can start having a think who in your networks and who out of your local companies should be people that you can recommend for the alumni, so we can start the outreach campaign from Geneva. So, press the right button. What I'd like to do now, I'll end this presentation for a minute. We can have a quick chat as to...
Can you have our questions now? Okay, so I mean, there's a lot of questions, but I'll go one by one. The first one is like for the alumni,
Yep.
there are four categories of people, right? So for I
Sure.
mean, GAN people, people who
Yep.
works for GAN and knows GAN well. Second, are the GAN network people.
Mhm.
Third, are the individual persons, and what is the number fourth category?
These are they're mainly other people that we haven't got a standard way of connecting with them still, so we can't go and ask the HR group because they're no longer around. We've lost them, but we still have a personal contact and think they are somebody that
Potential partners could be, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but there are also some networks that have been running for a while also have some external people they talk to a lot, which work well as influencers, and we would include those as in the other category as well.
Okay. So is it like like as it's a global apprenticeship network, so I mean the apprentices and the entrepreneurs can be a part of the alumni, and at the same time the policymakers, the high government officials can be a part of the alumni, right?
Yep.
Is it?
Yes,
Okay.
there's no stop because they all have their own personal accounts to actually retweet it. So they have their corporate and institutional accounts which have a specific line, but they can also have their own opinion, which is able to build a bit more credibility that people are actually there. They have their own followers on certain missions, so why not spread our reach as much as possible?
So, I mean, the main purpose of this alumni collection or increasing the number of alumni is to create a platform which will be very vibrating and knowledge sharing stuffs going there. So, in terms of like such online platform from Bangladesh, you mentioned about WhatsApp. WhatsApp is fine, but it's kind of like one-to-one interaction in Bangladesh. If you just consider the context of Bangladesh, it's more like the Facebook. It works better than any other social media. So you can have that in mind, and the number of shares, the number of posts that people gives in Facebook is, I mean, much higher than any other social media. So it's not even Twitter. It's not that much visible here in Bangladesh. Not even WhatsApp. WhatsApp is like it's one-to-one interaction rather than a group platform.
So this is where the idea of the platform is for the alumni to actually speak to each other and to actually start working together. It's not as the main communication vehicle we'll be using it.
So, I mean, if the platform is like sharing informations about events, about what's happening in apprenticeship network, then the Facebook will be better for Bangladesh rather than any other. But if it's like a group of people who want to be connected one-to-one, then WhatsApp is fine. That's one thing. And there's and one small request that is like I haven't created the account in Playbook website yet, so I was just looking for that link. If it's possible, just send me the link in the chat box. That's fine. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, with the type of tool, we've got to try and make sure it fits with the accessibility and the usability in each of the networks as much as possible. You take it. Facebook was one of the ones that we were thinking of because it allows a little bit of planning, and you can have it as a control group. Getting some of our other networks which seem to respond only on WhatsApp is one of the goals we're looking for as well. But again, this can evolve over time as we get there. And yeah, to Alexander's point, he's actually written another question here. We did think about calling it a GAN community, but that may have actually confused things more than anything because too many times we're talking GAN, so we came up with a different name at the moment. But yeah, we're open to suggestions. Its role is mainly to be a community, but also to maintain the relationships with people we actually know as an alumni would normally work as well.
I think that
no, it's much better. We can hear you this time. Yeah.
I think I solved it. So I think that in Belgium, if we start talking about a GAN alumni, it is indeed people that have been member of a certain thing. But here it's really a student thing. Like you studied somewhere and you graduate and then you're an alumni. So I think it will be hard to well, not sell, but you know what I mean, to sell this concept to our members or our partners here under the name alumni, because the first thing they'll all ask is, how is it an alumni? How is it not a community?
Okay.
That is,
Well, this is the reason for having a great community. We can with discussions like this. We can try and cope for regional differences to make it simple. But as long as the concept is clear for everyone, then whatever we call it's not a problem. Yeah.
and I'm also with Rebecca on the media we could use. I think maybe WhatsApp could limit us a little bit in the content sharing. Because I think if there's a lot of content that is shared, it would be great to have it on a little bit more a platform with more options than WhatsApp. They can easily scroll back to what has been said about a certain topic, and they can group messages into certain topics to really structure it. Because otherwise, if we have a lot of people in one WhatsApp group, I already have 15 WhatsApp groups of different groups and 100 messages each day. Like, I just mute it and I never look at it. So that is, I think in terms of content sharing, and then I think we also have a lot of opportunities with like just content sharing between our GON national networks. I think we'll have a lot of interesting information to share, and other networks also have an interesting information to share. So also there, like, how will we distinguish the communication between our national networks just as an organization, and then extending that to people from outside our organization within our community. Definitely taking into account those two different groups, and how we'll manage those two different groups, preferably on the same media, of course, because otherwise we'll have WhatsApp and Facebook and LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn is open for alumni networks too, so it's also something we can look at.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, but also always happy to discuss this.
Yes, sure. Okay, well, yeah, again, if there's any more thoughts that people have, please have a think, let us know, send it across as a suggestion. We haven't decided on anything yet. The first thing we were doing was selecting people, and then obviously the platform can come as a second stage. But the concept for this community idea, it is the previous people, because they are the ones that were impassioned by the mission, and we can grow them from there. So, the big complicated thing today then. So who has their content plans and has already thought what they'd like to do for their GAN Focus Week?
Well, I have,
Not you.
we've come with a rough plan. We've come up with a rough plan. And the thing is, we're still trying to figure out our budget for next year. Mm-hmm. So that's also kind of playing into this. Yeah. But we have a rough plan of, some ideas that we'd like to do next year. So we kind of have a timeline, but it's also still kind of rough. We need to figure it out. Okay, so we've got about 5 activities that we want to carry out next year. So the first thing is that we want to include all our GAN activities in our NEF newsletter. Mm-hmm. So NEF is our employers, federation, and that's how we've created GAN Namibia. And so we want to include everything that we're doing in the newsletter. It's a bi-monthly newsletter, and this will really open up our GAN activities to our members and help them realize that GAN Namibia exists, and just information about what we're doing, and maybe encourage some of them to join on. And then we want to take part in the Careers Expo, and this is something we want to do annually. We took part in it this year, and we want to just take that on as something that we do every year, because we've actually gotten quite a lot of we reached quite a lot of students at this year's annual event, and so we want to do this every year going forward. So that's in June, and that's going to be...
What age are the students?
Pardon?
For the Student Expo, what age are the students? Are they university students or school students still?
Oh no, they're school students that are just leaving to go to university. So from the last 3 grades in school.
Okay. So
and then
choice at that stage whether they go university or will go to apprenticeship would be the
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, and so that's scheduled for June, and that's a set time that it happens every year in June.
Yep.
So that's for sure that we know. And then we would like to have a whole thing where we visit our GAN interns, because we took on interns this year. This was our first year where we enrolled interns, and we enrolled about more than 80 interns in an apprenticeship program that we're running together with our Namibia Training Authority. And so what we're planning to do is visit these interns and just have short talk, like a short interview kind of with them, just to tell us, how their experience has been, and maybe get some action photos of them, learning either at the vocational training facility or at the employers. And we also thought of partnering with one of our radio stations for that, just so that they can also have interviews with them, and then the public can hear about this, and maybe that will spread
inspiring story we're looking for. It's real life. It shows it's not complicated and long pieces, but it's short and simple.
Yes.
Radio was one of the key channels that we were discussing from the Secretariat here for also doing in a couple of different places, with where possible, as a type of series of radio programs, so that there's one that introduces it, it's got a couple of people, and then they come back 3-4 months later and discuss another point that follow on with the same, for building that type of programming together. And of course, if it goes out as radio, it can be recorded and used as a podcast afterwards as well.
Exactly. So that will be great for us. We want to open a YouTube channel, because we don't currently have one. Right. So this will be a great way to gather content that we can post on our YouTube channel. And then the other thing is that we want to host an apprenticeship day. Now, this is something that in Namibia we don't have yet.
Right.
So it's something that we're in very early discussions with our training authority, and we're going to still figure out how to do it and how to go about it, and hopefully it can fall within our focus week, and then that would be something great to show in our focus week.
So there is a campaign plan. World Apprenticeship Day is scheduled for the 11th of June.
Okay.
And this is one that we wanted all of the networks to do the same sort of thing on, but it's not stopping us having a national one as well. France are having a national one in November. I believe there was somewhere else that was doing a national one as well. It might be in Argentina that we're going to do one. So we have the local use, definitely, but we were going to have a worldwide one. And this will be a recurring event each year, and it will have a specific theme, the same as some of these big UN type events happen, that they do road traffic accidents, they do cancer prevention, they do things like this. It would be one of these with a different theme around apprenticeship each year, but it would continue from starting this year from the 11th of June. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's actually on the big campaign plan that we actually have, which is available on the web and in the playbook. It has the dates for some of these things in there as well, so that we've got them all planned, so you'll be able to see more plans there as well. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll have a look at that. Yep. Thank you.
And we've got a bit of a toolkit for helping with these. So this it's supposed to be connected to, there's a page on our website now inside this protected area about World Apprenticeship Day, and we're putting in some of the tool pieces in there. But we've set the dates. We've come up with finding the tools that we actually want to use, but we haven't structured it any further than that so far. But this is one of the directions we're heading in.
Okay.
So looking at the campaign website, I'll update you on it. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, it'll be something that we can also share, with the organization that we're partnering with, and
Definitely.
help us figure it out. Yeah. Yep. Okay. For that.
That sounds great so far. Your planning is extremely well organized. Yeah.
Okay, so the last activity we'd like to do is host 2 workshops.
Okay.
So we want to host one in Windhoek, which is our capital city and where we're based.
Yep.
And then we'd like to host another one in our coastal area.
Mhm.
And this workshop will be to just hopefully gain new GAN members
Mhm.
and also inform our current members on what we're doing and, just get their feedback and see how we can, grow bigger as a network.
And these
So-
2 workshops would be during the focus week, or are they at a different time?
Okay, so these ones, we need to figure out between April and August when we can host these,
Okay.
because there's going to be 2 of them.
Mhm.
So maybe we can host the one during our focus week.
Yep.
But then the other one would have to host earlier. The thing is, because we want to get new members, we need to do it as early as we can in the year,
Yep.
so that we have them on board for the following year.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that's
Good plan.
that's what we've
Yeah,
planned.
perfect. Okay, so
Yeah, so
again,
it's very rough, but yeah, these are the ideas that we have. Also, we're very small, so we
Mhm.
don't have such a big budget to do too
No.
much. But yeah, so this is what we've thought of.
so this is where finding other pieces of content that people have created that you can reuse just for posting and for using it as flyers and backdrops and things would actually help.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
definitely.
you spend your time and effort on the pieces that actually count that you can only do locally, whereas the stuff which we can reuse everywhere, we've got something to play with. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problems. So we will when will your plan be finalized? Is it, you've got an idea for that?
We should, I think, by the next webinar, hopefully. It really depends on how fast we can finalize our budget
Sure.
for
No problem.
yeah.
Keeps us going. So
Yeah,
it gives us
so we'll
something to
figure it
aim
out.
for. So if you can share what you've got back with me, then I can keep. I'm trying to do and produce one that has each of the different groups in. I can try and put it back into my time frame, and then it gives us an
Okay.
overview. Start seeing if there are any opportunities for helping each other create the content, or if there's going to be any major clashes with something. Then we can
Yeah.
feedback that way. It's not a problem.
Okay. All right. I'll share that with you as soon as I can.
No problem. Yeah. So, Rebecca and Alexander, do you have anything about your plans for the year? And you're both on mute at the moment.
Oh, I see.
Right, that's unbelievable.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Now we can hear you. There we go.
I
Go
was
ahead,
like
Rebecca.
trying to unmute myself. Anyways, so regarding the plan, that we already had our big budget national apprenticeship conference, right?
Mhm.
In Cox's Bazar that we just had in last week. So that's one big thing that happened. And do you think like it's and now we're planning to have an outcome report of that conference? I mean, the conference was on apprenticeship and how nationally Bangladesh is doing, which areas needs to be more focused and improved for better apprenticeship program. Okay, so the conference was based on that. So after the conference, now we're working to have a outcome report of that conference. So do you think that is there any way that we can showcase it to somewhere in the network?
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm sure we can, because if it comes out with pieces, everybody is always searching for content summaries, etc., and then to actually show out on the website on their own social channels. So there's no problem with highlighting things.
And maybe we can upload it somewhere in the website so that anyone who wants to know about the apprenticeship scenario of Bangladesh, they can have a look at it.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
that's one thing.
Yep.
And regarding we are trying to that for our internal purpose and interest, we are trying to collect, I mean, around 100 case studies of apprenticeship.
Good.
It's like more storytelling format, like if in like apprentices are telling their stories, their struggles, how this apprenticeship program has benefited them directly, or we are in the process to collect that exact 100 case studies.
Okay.
We're working on it. It's like it's a very very huge work, and I mean to find out the specific case studies with significant changes, we're working on that. So in terms of
do you
having
have a standard format that you're collecting the information in that you can share back to us, and then we can put it on so everybody can see this is how you could go around and collect a case study and the types of questions to ask?
Sure.
Because
I mean, if we're interested, we can share the format. Definitely.
Yeah, because we can everybody then can produce things quickly and simply in the same way, and it makes life a lot easier for everybody to understand. Yeah.
Exactly, and one thing, like from some of our previous documents that that GAN and EU has sent to us, what we saw that EU, it's it's one of the grand criteria to have a quotation for someone's perspective. I mean, on one individual's perspective. So I haven't seen the case studies format yet because some other team is working on it. So, but still, if you want to look at the formats, what things will be in the case studies, then I can definitely share with you. And since we're in these, I mean, these hundreds of case studies can be a big content for even our networks too. The things that we're talking about right now. That's one thing. And regarding the video, we haven't planned to shoot any videos yet, but from our previous webinar, the discussions that we have had is like, if any individuals want to shoot their own videos and upload it in the website, that's fine too, right? So we can send these messages to our participants, trainers, and industry owners that you can be a part of this forum by uploading your videos. Okay, so that's one thing that we can do.
Video specifically does not have to be really professional and be in a studio. It can be shot with a mobile phone. We can use it this way around. It actually shows human aspects to what we're doing. As long as the sound is clear, then that's not a problem. And once it's been recorded, you can always add subtitling over the top of it as well with some simple talk. So this is a good way also of collecting the case studies. There's nothing wrong with them actually just telling you in 2 minutes on video as well. It's much more consumable that way.
And one thing is, like, do you think like the photos can be manageable too? Because we have so far we have 350 where, I mean, the A2I, okay, the A2I is linked to it around 350 people, 50 industries so far, and we have 27,000 plus apprentices in our through our different apprenticeship programs. So we have that manpower so far, but the way of documentation, the way of storing case studies and videos and photos, we haven't put that much. We haven't think about it that way. But since now we're part of GAN networks, and it's kind of opportunity to showcase those things, we'll definitely love to do that. But do you think, like, for the video concept that some of our members has already said, I mean, to have our own YouTube channels, it's very wonderful, because the number of videos shares from YouTube or views in YouTube is higher than in any other platforms. So we can do that, but like, to have we can the thing that you said, that nothing professional, we can collect raw videos someone took from mobiles. But do you think, like, for the campaigns, we can have 1 minute professional video from all our Bangladesh is like the 12th networks GAN is having so far. So do you think, like, every country can have their 1 minute professional video
Yeah,
to
definitely.
show the progress that they have done so far in apprentice. I
That's
mean,
exactly the type of content we would like to show in the focus weeks. This is what we've done with our history. This is how we've got going. This is what it means to us. These featuring our partners so that everybody is aware you're stating your purpose and that people can see what's happening. A group of videos shot like that will be perfect for content that can actually circulate during that week and that they can be reused over time as well. So the key things to remember on a type of video like that is to try and not include too many dates and too many fixed numbers in the words that are being spoken or said on the screen, because then your video gets dated and it can't last very long.
Exactly, like to keep the concept that can the videos can use for years. I mean, not for 2018, not for 2019 or 2017. We can, like, if possible, I'll share our apprenticeship flyer. I mean, it's a 2-pagers thing with you, so that if anyone, like when you are in the office coming for the first time and you want to know what A2I or some other organization is doing in Bangladesh, you can just have a look at it for 10 minutes and now you know all the datas. So it can be same for the videos too. Like if you just look at the video for 1 minute, if you see the video, you know the whole scenario of a particular country. So we can have a lot of unprofessional videos from our true stakeholders, but at the same time
we won't say unprofessional. We'll say not studio quality. How about
not studio processed? Yeah, exactly, or edited. But let's make a combination of both of these so that we don't need to explain things to again and again to every individual. Just we can give the link of the YouTube and they can have the whole perception clear. So that's one thing, because we as a GAN last time our like GAN's executive director, she had sent us a very very beautiful video message. So when we just played it in the conference.
For that one, we shot that in the office directly. There was one of the team has an SLR camera which can also shoot video, so it's got a reasonably good lens and quality of filming it's doing compared to the quality you can get on a mobile. But it was shot in the office, and we just put some words over the top. And I think it took 5 hours maximum of including writing the script, setting up what the room was going to look like. It wasn't. We didn't have to spend money on doing this because we had some of the talent inside the team as well. So again, you can ask around inside your own network, inside the members. Do you have anybody that's good at amateur photography that can actually has a camera of reasonable quality, and then you can get really good results very easily without having to pay a video shooting company and a film director and all this other stuff.
Okay, yeah, you're very, very, very right. Actually, we can do that, and in A2I we have our communication team too. So if we request and give the content to them, they can process 1 minute video for us in a very low cost. I mean, I don't know whether it's going to be 100% free, but the cost can be really minimized. And what I was saying, that the video our GAN executive director has shared, we have shown that video in the conference and for the GAN Bangladesh launching. So it was very applauding because people got to see the GAN head officials over there and how she is thinking to strengthen the network and at the same time inviting people to join the network. So it was like really helpful for us as an organizer to not to talk much about the concept rather than showing the things from a person who is really a big part of GAN. So that's why I was just when when you just raised the issues of video, I was like really having the thing in mind that let's have a video for at least 1 minute.
No, we go for as much as possible for video for these types of things because it's engaging on the internet, much nicer written word, and it shows people doing real things, and we can reuse it. So even with the social channels over the years, we actually recycle videos that we've done, so that if you haven't got what's happening, for your social media. You can put up your videos again, and it's just understanding how to tag them when you put them into Facebook and YouTube, as to that you can refine them again and use them for certain purposes. So, and with the videos, if you have them in YouTube, other networks can feature them as well. It's not a problem, because once the URLs are made public, we can feature it on our channels. We can show what's going on. We can mix and match. It generates a bit of conversation around them as well. The thing that you'll need to have a think about is, are you organized enough that if people are starting to comment and discuss things on YouTube as well, this is just another thing you need to look at, that people are keeping you up to date and are actually responding. Because if as a YouTube viewer, if you put a comment on, you don't get a reply back from the person or any likes what is happening about what you've said, it can quickly limit your reputation.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm conscious of time because we're 10:05 my time now. Alexander, do you have anything else to add, or? Oh, he's on mute again. Where are we? There you go.
Yes. Hi, good morning. So yes, we do have some things planned. So we are trying to take the concept of Schnupperwochen from Germany and Switzerland to Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
So that will mean that we have this 1 week where we organize a lot of work-based learning experience throughout the whole week, and we are trying to gather all stakeholders to work together to realize this.
Good.
It's a process, but I think we're getting there. We're meeting the government about this very soon. Okay. So that's also when we will have a clear date, because we want to organize our campaign, of course, during that week. On top of the Schnupperwochen concept, we will organize, we are trying to assemble an ambassadors network in Belgium, where we have ex-apprentices or students or companies that offer dual learning opportunities within their organization, that we have those in a sort of database ready, with their story ready, so that when press contacts us, we can offer the stories very easily. And for that, I do have an update as of this morning, because we have been contacted by Sintra Vlaanderen, which is the adult education provider of Flanders in Belgium. And they have contacted us with a proposal, apologies, with a proposal to give all our members €2,000 to create a video of their apprenticeship, their apprenticeship program of their organization, to feature it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
It's Channel Z, and it's a business channel of all companies. It's for business leaders, employers. And it's really popular in Belgium. Mm-hmm. So they are asking us to find 20 companies that can showcase their dual learning opportunities within their organization, and they will pay us to create the videos, and they will feature us on TV. Mm-hmm. So but that won't be during a specific week. There will be visibility throughout the year, of course.
Well, if there's something that you could get slotted in, at least in that week, whether it's the beginning of it or one of the features, then at least it will tie up a little bit. Yeah.
Exactly. But so during the week, what we will use is some testimonials and best practices of dual learning opportunities in Belgium, but also apprenticeship opportunities, and we're going to try to link it to the Schnupperwochen concept in Belgium. And on top of that, we're also thinking about the World Skills competition that is organized yearly. Mm-hmm. At this moment, it's only the French part of Belgium that is competing in this, and we are going to try to involve Flanders into it too, and ideally we'll try to organize a competition in Belgium during that week also. Okay. So that we'll have apprenticeship and skills combined with some testimonials from companies and ex-apprentices. That's the ideal story.
Yeah. I think growth skills is one of the things, one of the main events that we do from the Secretariat as well. We do some coverage of that. So yeah, if once you've got your dates a little bit aligned, if you send it over, we can make sure we've got that in the calendar so that we're able to give it a bit of push from this end as well.
Okay, great. We won't be looking at an apprenticeship day this year because we're going to try to see how the Schimmelwachen concept evolves in Belgium, and maybe we can link it to the concept in the coming years.
Sure.
But we're trying to take one step at a time, see how everything evolves.
Yeah.
It's exciting times in regarding dual learning in Belgium and development of it. So, one step at a time.
Yeah, definitely. But the faster we can make some of these steps, the better.
Exactly.
Great. So, final question then. Has everybody found this sort of session more useful today than other things we've done so far?
Okay.
Because we've got a bit of discussions, we've got some different ideas now, so it'll be good to have another look back at the chat and see what can also fit. But plans are coming together from certain areas, so these are star plans we can go around and highlight and show.
I think it's very interesting to hear everyone's input.
Yeah. So that's the main idea of these sessions, to actually keep us moving forward. We can learn ideas from each other. We can help where we can with pieces together, and we can try some alignment, but this will get us actually all moving a lot faster.
Okay.
And again, I think this
as well. So if we can stick then to the main things we need to actually handle again for this year, before the next thing, finalize and finish out your plans, share them across so we can have a look and see what can align between places. Get your account on the playbook created if you haven't actually got that already, and definitely try the video competition. So the link in September still works for the video competition, so it's now active. Bella, you can upload another one if you'd like, or you can leave yours there and we can keep voting on it. It's up to you. And then we can just start selecting the people for the alumni so that we can start organizing some outreach from Geneva. Good. Otherwise, great. I don't have anything else to say for today, so thanks very much. The recording will go up later on today once we've got the one from the afternoon session as well. And we'll see how we keep moving forward.
Thank you, Niall. Yeah. I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, well done.
All right.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.